Hi YouTube. I'm going to do a video today on the Smith Wesson Model 64. Okay, this is a 38 special. It also hold plus P ammo. Go ahead and show you that the cylinder is empty. Okay, there's nothing in the cylinder. There's nothing in the barrel. Okay. This gun right here is a Smith Wesson. Okay, this is a stainless steel. And it's got a 4-inch barrel on it. The sights on this gun are flush to the frame. You just line it up with your front sight. There's no up and down adjustment or anything like that. You just have to adjust it by your front sight. If you want to release your cylinder on most revolvers, okay, you just push up on that and push out on that, and it lets your cylinder flip over to the side. And say if you had some casings in here, bullets that you wanted to eject or get out of the cylinder, you've got this ejection rod right here. You just do that and the casings will fall out. I'm going to point out one thing. This is a newer model, probably 2005, somewhere around there. But in the earlier models, you could have a malfunction when you're trying to get your casings out of your cylinder. What it was, this rod was long, okay? And when you would get your casings out, sometimes it would pull the casing and the casing would kind of come off this lip and fall back down there into your cylinder. Okay, and then you would try to drop it down and you couldn't, because this would be sitting on top of the casing. So you'd have to go through and try and pull and dig out the casing, or put a ramrod through this side and get that casing out. Okay, if it didn't just shake out. But around 2005 or so, they changed this rod and made it shorter, okay, so that wouldn't happen. So it's less likely that that could happen with this model, okay, from that year up. Alright, so now when you do it, it's just going to pull the casings out, but it's not going to let them have enough room where they're going to fall in there. Okay. We learned that, actually I learned that when I was at NRA training. One of the instructors had an older model and he showed us that malfunction, and then he told us to try and imitate that malfunction, and it was hard as crap for me to get the casing in there. Okay, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to do whatever the instructor says. So I got it down in there somehow, and then we had a heck of a time getting it back out. But we did get it out, and that's where we found out that the rods were different after that year. Okay, but it's a good thing. It's a good improvement. Okay, that's one less malfunction that you can have with a revolver, which there's not many malfunctions you can have with a revolver. Okay, you're either going to have a light primer strike, with your hammer, or that could happen, and that's pretty much it, guys. Well, I'll tell you this trigger right here is a decent trigger. It's probably about a 3.5–4 pound trigger with the hammer back. Okay, you see that? With the hammer back. But in double action, this is probably a good 12-pound trigger. I've tried pulling it on this scale here, and it just bottoms out all the way up to here past the 8-pound mark. So that's a good, let's see, that much further. Yeah, that's a good 2 more pounds, 8, 9, 10. So it's got to be a 10–12 pound trigger, guys. But when you pull the hammer back and you pull it, it's a lot lighter. Right there, it's about 4 pounds, like I said. So you're getting about a third of the weight of the trigger is taken away when you pull the hammer back. There you go again. That's about 4 1/4. So if you're taking long shots and you want to hit your target, it's best to pull that hammer back, and you'll have a steadier shot. You'll have less movement on your sights and your gun, and better trigger control when shooting from a long distance. Alright, from about 15, maybe 20 yards and up, you can do fine double action. Okay, I had to qualify for the NRA, and I used this pistol here because this is what we used at our facility. And at the 25-yard line, I did pull the hammer back. Okay, if I didn't, I might not have passed the first time, because you're timed and stuff like that, so you're trying to meet your time limit and everything. But passed in the first round, and no issues. A lot of the other guys did not pull the hammer back, and they learned that by pulling the hammer back, they could have better trigger control when they're shooting from that distance. But the grip on here is like a hoe grip. It's rubber, and it's a decent grip. Right here it's not lined up very well, but you just have to unscrew that screw and readjust it. But it feels good in the hand. If you ever want to adjust your trigger on a revolver, you can take your grips off, and there's this long flat bar that comes up and goes up here to your hammer from down here, and there's a flathead screw normally, and you can loosen that up, and that'll take some of the poundage off the trigger for your double action. But if you do that, make sure you take it to the range and shoot it plenty of times, because you can get light primer strikes by doing that. Okay, but it's a good gun. There's people that still carry these. Okay, some people say a wheel gun is a real gun, but that's to each their own. Okay, some prefer this, some prefer semi-automatics, whatever. But it's a good gun, and it is used still today in detention centers, prisons, and stuff like that. I think the reason they do that is because of the simplicity of the gun. Alright, there's less worries about malfunctions, less things for operation and failure from the operator. Pretty much you pull the trigger, pull the hammer back, and stuff like that. It's very simple compared to a semi-automatic. But that's the Smith Wesson 64. Again, this will take the 38 Smith Wesson Special plus P as well. Alright, the barrel is rated for that. It's stamped on the barrel. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the review. Please like and subscribe. Leave in comments down below. Bye.